YouTube, it's KG, and welcome to another video. Today we're going to be talking about everything that's going on right now. If you're watching this video at some point in the future, it is June 2020 and the Black Lives Matter movement is blowing up yet again. I've been trying to figure out what to say in this video and how to even make it for the past week or so, but it's come to a point where I've just decided to say something, make something, even if it's not perfect. I just want to put some kinds of my thoughts out there and let it be said. I want to make this quick, I want to make this concise, and I just want some of my ideas to be expressed. If I said everything that I have to say about the matter, I would be talking for literally days. So first and foremost, I want you to know that all lives do matter. And blue lives, they matter too. I'm tired of telling y'all this because I know y'all don't care about this, but just so that you can't say you never heard, nobody told you, and you didn't know that that's what it was about, let me run it down for you again. Nobody is saying that we want you to die instead. Nobody is saying that we want police to all just be murdered in hellfire. No one's saying that. We might be saying that, and that's just out of anger, but that's not what we actually think. That's not what we actually mean when we say Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter is a statement to call attention to the issue. I've seen this analogy hit Twitter lately, and it describes what I'm trying to say perfectly. So, say there's a house on fire, the fire department shows up, and then all the other neighbors come out of their houses and are like, hey, fire department, aren't you going to hose down my house first? All houses matter. Meanwhile, the house that's on fire is burning more and more, getting closer and closer to collapsing on the people that are still in there and turning to ash, but everyone in the neighborhood wants to complain about their perfectly pristine house and how it isn't being given any attention. Your life matters, even if you're not black. We don't want you to die. Police lives matter. Even though they are the problem, we would like to see them reformed. We would like to see them taught new things. We would maybe even like to see them without guns, but for that to happen, citizens would have to be without guns, and that's far off. We would like to see change in them. We don't want them to all just die, and we don't want there to be no police force, because then no one would be protected from anything. But that's not the issue right now. Police dying is not the issue right now. White people dying is not the issue. Hispanic people dying is not the issue. That's not what we're talking about. What we're talking about is black people dying at the hands of police. That is why the hashtag is Black Lives Matter. It's not Black lives are the only lives that matter. It's Black Lives Matter too. So if you wouldn't kill a white person in this situation, don't kill a black person. A lot of my ideas that need to be expressed are my opinions on the media that I've taken in lately, and I, again, could go on about those opinions for literally days, but I won't do that. I won't waste your time. I won't waste my time. Speaking about how I feel isn't really going to change much. Instead, why don't you absorb some of this as well and let the world know how you feel. Let yourself know how you feel and do something about it. Reading material. There is a book called Just Mercy. I think they're making it into a movie. That might have been something else. But there is a book called Just Mercy that you need to read. It is by a black lawyer by the name of, his name is here. I couldn't find the book in my little book drawer. So yeah, it's by a black lawyer. And he is telling a story of his times working with and for people, incarcerated people on death row. Innocent people, guilty people, so on and so forth. And it just discusses some of the issues with the prison industrial complex, specifically with the death sentence. If you don't want to read that, then here is some watching material. There is a documentary both on Netflix and on YouTube for free if you don't have a Netflix called 13th, 13th. 13th really thoroughly and factually explains this new wave of slavery. People often like to say, slavery was ages ago, forget about it, let it go, give it up. 13th puts into perspective, not only was it not that long ago that slavery happened, that segregation was happening, that Jim Crow was happening, but it's still happening. It explains how slavery evolved into Jim Crow, which evolved into segregation, which evolved into mass incarceration, which is what we're dealing with now. So if you're one of those people out there who is just like slavery was a long time ago and y'all need to let it go, please take a look at 13th, because not only will it explain our current issues, but it will explain how they relate to the past and how this situation is really nothing new. Even though it's new, it's not new. Finally, there will be articles linked in the description regarding the death of some of the most recent Black people who have died at the hands of police brutality. Read up on their cases and form your own opinions. Next, I need y'all to stop justifying these people's deaths. I really do. I need you to stop it. And here are some reasons why. For George Floyd, his death made absolutely no sense. Even if he was resisting arrest before, even if he did have a fake $20 bill, why was it that the police handcuffed him, had him on the ground, had him weakened and no longer resisting, had him outnumbered and overpowered, and yet they still sat there and held him down and put a knee on his throat? Even though he said he couldn't breathe, why was any of this happening when the cop car was directly in front of him? If your goal was to arrest George Floyd, then arrest George Floyd. You have him in handcuffs, put him in the car, book him, go to the station, do your damn job. You cannot justify Breonna Taylor, because how did the police fuck that up that badly? How is it that you are going to find someone who is already in police custody? How is it that you are going to find someone who is already in police custody and you're in the completely wrong city? How is it you're going to find someone that is already in police custody in the wrong city and you didn't see how this would alarm someone? How police in not police uniforms and not a police car showing up and basically breaking into someone's house, not announcing that you're police, not doing anything to let these people know that you're police. How is it that you wouldn't think, oh hey, maybe they think we're robbers. Maybe we should explain that we are police. Because even if this was a drug bust or you were going to get whoever the original target was, you at no point said, hey, we're the police. You could have even said it after you had already gotten into the building. Bust the door down, police! It needs to be said at some point, or else you just look like petty thieves. And finally, Breonna's boyfriend was the person shooting at police. So how is it that your aim is so terrible, or your regard for human life is so low, that you're just shooting randomly, and you end up killing the man's girlfriend, not the actual man who was shooting at you? How did they fuck that up that badly? That's too many fuck-ups. I don't accept it. It's too much. You cannot justify Ahmaud Arbery, because that makes no fucking sense. First of all, the idea that you think he was stealing, you only think that because he's a black man. Because was he in a building? Yes. But it was it was a building still under construction, a house still under construction. What is there to steal? The house is not built, no one lives there, there's no furniture. What is there to steal? Secondly, if he did steal something, where is it? The man is jogging. I'm assuming he was in jogging attire, which typically doesn't have pockets. But even if he was wearing cargo pants, what kind of stealing do you think he was doing that everything he stole was in his pockets? Wouldn't he want to steal something big and expensive, like a TV, a couch, even a game system? Something that you would need to either put in a car or be holding in your hand. What did he steal? The man is just running with himself. He's not in a getaway vehicle. He doesn't have any possessions in his hands. What the hell did you think he stole? And finally, you can't justify Ahmaud, because that's not your fucking job. That's not your job. I've heard this man described as an ex-cop. Even then, that's not your job. As a cop, as a police officer, it is not your job to hunt down a thief and then shoot them. And as a civilian, it is definitely not your job to hunt down a thief, a random black man, and then shoot him. That's not your fucking job. So I don't want to hear about how you thought you were protecting the community, because you were not. You weren't. To protect the community in that situation would be to call the police. Even that would probably get Ahmaud killed, but at least then this random man wouldn't be at fault. At least then it would be an active police officer at fault. Y'all are idiots if you're trying to justify this. The most recent case of police brutality, you cannot justify McAtee, because even if he was shooting at police, which is unclear, even if he was, police opening fire on a crowd of people because one person is shooting at them is not and never will be appropriate. All of those people were put into danger because police don't know how to aim, as we saw with Breonna. Police don't know how to think, as we saw with Breonna. Police don't know how to do anything but pull their triggers. None of that was appropriate, and you cannot justify it to me. My next issue with the movement is Donald Trump. With all disrespect, fuck that man. This man really got up on his Twitter, on his big blue app where he has been known to do the most foolish things. He got on his Twitter and couldn't even just say, I'm gonna kill him. He had to make up a rhyme for us. He had to give us a jingle. When the looting starts, the shooting starts. Fuck you. Fuck you. And I heard Republicans in his mentions like, ooh, the Democrats are going to try and flip this and make it seem like he meant he was going to shoot them. That's exactly what the fuck he meant, and that's exactly what he fucking did. Cursing a little too much. Everything he has said about this issue has been completely insulting, especially his apparent support of George Floyd and these protests, and him always saying that looting is not the way to honor George Floyd. Fuck you. Fuck you. You don't know what the way to honor George Floyd is because it's your police that put him in this position. Fuck you. It's your police that put him in this position, and it is your presidency that made a lot of these racist people on these streets more comfortable with being openly racist, so fuck you. Masks were apparently too much for y'all. That was taking away your right to die, but you can stand a curfew. You can stand the military marching your streets. You can stand protests, peaceful or not, being shut down. But masks were too much for you, really. Really, that's interesting. Fuck all of you. And my final point for this video is just to say that this is not about George Floyd. A lot of the media seems to think that this is about George Floyd, and everyone seems to be talking about this as if it's about George Floyd. I hear a lot of updates on George Floyd's case, like so-and-so got arrested, so-and-so is charged for third degree, and that's all great. That's all fantastic. We want our justice for George Floyd, but this is not just about him. This is not just about George Floyd or Ahmaud or Breonna or McAfee. This is not just about any of them. This is about this issue that has been going on in this country for years, for decades, for generations. It has always been ingrained into Black people that the police are something to be feared. Even back before the police were the police, they were slave catchers, and even then, they were something to be feared. This force that is supposed to protect and serve its people is terrifying a large majority of them. And that is the issue. This is not about George Floyd. This is about Black lives, how much they matter, and how the prison industrial complex and the judicial system needs to go. It needs change, or it needs to go completely, because this is not acceptable. When George Floyd's case is over, when these people are sentenced to whatever they're sentenced to, and some people believe that it might be a more extreme sentence because of the protests. I don't really believe that, but we'll see how this goes. When they are sentenced to whatever they are sentenced to, I want you to know that this fight is not over. We had a small victory. A small battle was won, but there is still a war to get through. Please do not think that this is all going to go away when George Floyd gets his justice. Linked in the description below, there will be some petitions that you can sign and some things that you can donate to if you have some money. If you don't have any money, then please look for protests in your area, or feel free to arrange your own. Speak out on your social medias, spread awareness, and don't do anything to spread awareness. Just spread the awareness. Just post the links. Just explain the situation. Don't paint on your face to spread awareness. Don't post a black screen to spread awareness. Just spread the awareness. Trust me on that one. And I hope you all have a good day. I don't know, it's been kind of hard for me to have a good day lately, but I wish you all the best. Thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you guys next time. Until then, toodaloo. Here's some links, but more importantly, this time, honestly, check the links in the description. Please watch 13th. Please watch 13th. Please read Just Mercy. Please get yourself educated on these issues because they really, really matter. And Black Americans could seriously use your help. Along with, as I'm now finding out, Black Canadians and just Black people all over the place, which is equally horrifying. But please, get yourself educated. Voting day is soon. Get out to the polls. Vote for your sheriff and your district attorney, I think. Just get out there and vote, because this is important. We need to have our voices heard. Thank you for watching. Remember that Black Lives Matter, and if you disagree with me on Black Lives Mattering, please unsubscribe. Please unfollow me. I don't need you here. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Until then, toodaloo.